Hello folks, and how are you all doing? Welcome to my video entry 2, Hazledan1216's 100 sub contest. So first of all, congratulations to Hazel and Dan. I'll leave a link down below to their contest video if anyone is interested in participating. And now the requirements are as always, you need to be 18 or older. Check. And the one thing you need to do is, as Hazel and Dan put it in their video, basically to tell them your story. So I'll be telling the story of how I got into comics. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yes, that's what I'll be telling. Okay, so the first thing, even before comics, I got to know superheroes through TV. As a kid, I watched X-Men, the cartoon, Iron Man, Spider-Man, the show, the cartoon from the 80s. 80s, wait, from the 90s, sorry, from the 90s. What else? X-Men. Oh, Justice League. Batman, of course, Batman the animated series. I also saw Batman Beyond, the one with Terry. With Terry and I think there was more, but that's how I first got to know superheroes. I think I got to know comics was also through TV. I think I would see in the shows or in cartoons where usually kids would read comics. That's how I first ever learned about comics. Yeah, I knew what they were, but that was it. And for quite a long time, I didn't think about getting into comics. I just knew what it was, and it did look cool. And then, so anyway, again, for years, comics were on the a very small back burner. I didn't think about them too much. And then I think it was, what was it? About 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago, where I was watching a channel called What Culture. They had a What Culture Comics, and they would talk a lot about comics. And I started seeing videos about comics, and it uh, it went from the back burner to, well, a bigger burner. You could say, if that makes any sense. The more I saw about it, and I wanted to read, to try reading comics. Again, still didn't know too well about them, but I was already getting excited. I really wanted to try them for the first time. Uh, Again, nothing much happened. Continuing on, and then last year, I think it was after I got to meet Chris, OMG Chris, and through Chris I found a lot more comic channels. Started watching them until I think it was some months after I started filming that I went to the bookstore I usually go to, and I was at the register, and then I saw there on the shelf, and I was like, "Are those comics? Those were comics." And the sales lady gave them to me, and I was practically screaming there. I was, "Oh my god, actual comic books! Holy shit!" Of course, I bought some. Finally, I got my hands on them. I can't remember if I bought one pack or two. In a bookstore, they sell them in packs of seven, random comics together. So I don't remember. But anyway, we bought some. And I came home, and that night I filmed my first comic book haul. I was so excited, you have no idea. If you do find that video, you'll see what I mean. I was practically squealing throughout the entire video. That was so awesome. For the first time, I was holding actual comic books. It was such a thing. First of all, there's a lot of things I didn't know. I didn't know where to look for them. Like, I had no idea that comic books actually had commercials in them. That was a completely new thing. I remember being so surprised. There's actual commercials in here. I remember asking, do all comic books contain commercials? Although since then I have myself read some comic books that didn't have any commercials in them. So not entirely all of them have them. But it was those first comics and reading one, which was actually a little difficult for me. I was not used to the whole there are words and pictures at the same time. I have read books before that had occasionally drawings and all that, but I never had to focus on both things together. That was quite interesting getting used to that, but now I'm already well used to that, so it's not difficult to read them, and it is bloody awesome. This whole thing where you have, unlike in a book where you imagine, in the comics you already have what someone imagined as far as look goes, and you have a story. It's interesting how they can, well, like in movies, they can show you the story even just with the pictures. And it is amazing. And also, like with books, there are more complicated stories, there are sillier stories, but it is all really awesome. My most favorite part is the art, the different art styles I saw so far. It is so amazing to think someone sat and drew all that and had that in their brain. And well, as you can tell, I'm officially already in love with comics. Probably or after I bought them already, it was official. And I just love this. Now already I know I'm probably gonna be more of a reader than a collector. I mean, I do like seeing people talk about their collections, but I think collecting is going to be really my thing. More reading. There are some comic series I would love to get, but I think I'm definitely gonna be more into just reading them than anything else. And so that is my story about comic books. Not the most exciting one, but that's what it is. So that is it, folks. In case anyone was wondering, that is Batgirl. Uh, not my best work, but to be fair, it was the first time I ever did her. So there she is. Okay, bye, folks.